Welcome to Crosby's Crew.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Crosby's Crew. We have the Emersons. Well, I love their little tagline. It says wine people on our screen, which is very fitting.
Very official.
That's us.
And hey, as we are kicking off harvest, I know Molly appreciates that. I'm going to kick off the show with a little toast. So raise your glasses. To the vine that gives us its fruit, to the hands that work the harvest, and to the victories, great and small, that make the labor worth the wine. Cheers.
All right. I like that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Also, here's to drinking at 10:30.
Oh, yeah.
I hear you, Holly. When it tastes that good.
Yeah, don't jinx
So
it.
good. And just
This is
a
a
little
great breakfast
disclaimer, I mean, Keith and Holly,
Yeah.
Keith's in the middle of harvest. This is like a really unique time. All right, just kicking off, just getting started. So who knows? People might pop in. Keith might have to pop out for a moment because he's a busy man right now. So really appreciate
Grapes
you
are
giving us
ripening.
Grapes
a
are
little
ripening.
time. A little time for
But
sure.
we had a little cooler weather yesterday, a little dusting of rain to wash off the grapes. So this was
Love
actually
it.
the perfect time to be able to do the harvest episode. So you'll notice we are not at our house. We are in his office.
Yep, we're here at Vineyard 29, and today's what we consider a dry out day. You get a little sprinkle in the middle of harvest, and it just kind of calms you down, lets you have a dry out day the following day, and then tomorrow we'll be back at it, picking again.
So it's a crazy harvest day. It's not a crazy harvest day. It's just hopefully a
Yeah, it's like a
catch-up day.
calm in the middle of the storm.
Yeah.
Well, this
the eye of
is
the hurricane.
This is amazing. I mean, you guys know we've always lived vicariously through you anyway, but now to be in, headquarters, watching things going on, people coming in and out. I like wine, but I don't know a whole lot about what's happening at this time of year. And so listeners, watchers, here we go. We feel like it's like bring your kid to work day with Mason and I trawling along behind Holly and Keith, but it was too good to miss. So what we're going to do is Holly and Keith are going to talk to us a little bit about the wine we're drinking today, just one wine and that we're going to be discussing, and baby wine, not for your babies, but
No.
and we're going to run down what harvest really looks like. We have some questions about harvest too. And then we are going to have a little bit of a debate. You guys didn't know this. We're going to have a little bit of a debate period. We're also going to learn about what some vintages in the past to kind of keep your eye out and collect are, and how we go about identifying those vintages. And then we're going to finish with Holly and Keith's question for Mason and I. So Holly and Keith, take us through this wine that we have in our glass.
Yes,
What is
indeed. Good to see you guys. We have the Aida Estate. So from Vineyard 29, and we jumped
big
back
dog
10
today.
years and opened the 15. So this baby is just on fire right now.
Yeah.
So 15 was a warm vintage. It was a very early year, and we started picking Aida, which is just 2 miles north here. We're at Vineyard 29, 2929 Highway 29. So just 2 miles north, there's the Aida Estate. We started picking actually in August in 2015. It was a really warm year.
Wow.
And we picked out all of Aida by September 10th, which is, I believe,
Today.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
So it's kind of a fun
I
idea.
love that.
Cheers.
We didn't
This
even-
year, yeah. I love
It's
it.
amazing. We
love
planned that.
that.
We
Early.
totally
Another
planned.
excuse to drink. Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, 10-year-old cab, Aida Estate from Vineyard 29. It's a beauty. It's really, I actually sold a big bottle of this yesterday to a great customer from Michigan, a big 3-liter bottle,
la la.
large format. We don't make a lot of those, but yeah, I'm very, very pleased with how this is tasting at age 10.
And has Aida come in yet?
So awesome.
Aida, we are almost picked out. We've
is
picked all but
crazy.
3 blocks.
Oh, yay.
There's 10 blocks out there. 7 of them are in tank already down here. I'm pointing to the tank
Wow.
room. And 3 of them are still hanging. I'm going to let them hang until probably mid next week, and then we'll finish Aida. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going
I
to
have
talk
a quick
quick, just
question.
really quick. Yeah, what's your question?
Oh, my quick question was that came to you really quickly when you picked it. This is a
I know, that's
decade ago.
amazing.
This is
That's-
actually we had a kid just turned 10. So
cheers. Cheers to
again.
Elizabeth.
Cheers to
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Cheers to
Cheers to
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. We're
This is
drinking her
our- yeah,
birth
this
year
is our
wine.
20
We're going to have to
birth year wine.
replace this wine.
I know,
We're
I
going to have
just-
to replace
I
this
replaced it
wine,
with it.
I
actually.
hope
You're
I
not
wasn't
supposed to drink
saving
birth
that.
year
Yeah,
wines.
wait,
You
Molly.
were.
Figure it
So
out.
we're going to have to replace it with a signed bottle.
I know
for
a
her.
guy.
Oh,
I know a
yes.
guy.
All
Okay,
right.
so here are my
I
two
love
quick
that.
questions before Holly jumps in. One, Mason can remember like every shot of every golf round he's ever played. And
I thought you were going to say field goal, but
Now, I forget those pretty quick, but golf, I do remember.
But you recalling a decade ago, like the way that it was picked,
I know. That's
is that
fun.
kind of like, do you feel like mostly you can recall most of these harvests? Like
definitely
when?
can. It's crazy.
Absolutely. It's actually a very strange thing. I remember everything about these grapes, these wines, these vintages, more than family
Anything
members'
else?
birthdays.
Yeah, for sure. Our brains are so funny. No, our brains are so
It's just
funny.
weird.
Like I can sing all of Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince right now. Like all those lyrics are still in my head, but like, I don't know what I had for dinner. So
Yes. Okay, and then second quick follow-up question. Did your customer say what he's going to do with that 3-liter bottle of wine? I want to have
Molly's
goals.
looking for an invite.
I
Yeah,
want to
actually,
have goals. Like someday I need to buy a 3-liter bottle of wine because
He's actually a fellow vintner. He owns a winery here in Napa, but he lives in Michigan, and he
Okay.
does an auction every year, and he does 3 large formats in brown paper bags, and he auctions it off and gets up to like
What?
75,000.
Oh my gosh, I
for
love-
it.
That's so
And then sometimes it's like a Chateau Lafite or it's a crazy French, Bordeaux or something crazy. But it's always blind, and the guests that come to the auction every year know that it's going to be really, really special, and so they bid super high. So
Oh my gosh, I
so-
love
I apologize
a good
that I don't
auction
know
lot.
I didn't even ask what the auction was for. So I
love a
No,
good
that's
auction
lovely.
lot. I'm on the Boys and Girls Club board, and I love an auction lot.
That's such
well,
a
and
good
you'll
idea.
you'll
That's
have
such a
quite
good
the
idea.
year this year for that charity too. People
Almost
just
1.3 for our
find out
local
what it
Boys
is.
and Girls Club, St. Helena and
So
Galveston.
great.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that bottle? We talked about bottles last time. Like, don't they have names?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not
what's
just
the
how
mold?
much.
Oh, the Jeroboam and Balthazar
Oh,
and
yeah,
all those
those,
fancy
yeah.
Yes.
Salmanazar and all
Yeah.
those.
I thought you meant
can
this
never get
one.
them
I bet you
straight.
know the mold of that glass right there.
Oh, of course I do. Yes.
What is it?
Oh, I want to know both
This is a
names.
Savor Premier.
Sabre Premier.
Saber.
What's the color?
Savor
Savor,
Glass
sorry.
is the
Savor.
French company,
Savor, sorry.
and then the Premier is the mold.
Saber
Premier is the
sounded
mold.
pretty
But what's the color?
Antique green.
Antique green.
And then
Heard
what's
it here
the
first.
beautiful.
Let's talk harvest. We will taste some juice right now. It legitimately is just non-fermented, so there is no alcohol. So our kids grew up, now they're 16, and 13, but they grew up in wineries, of course.
So it is just juice.
grape juice?
The juice
Oh, yeah.
is delicious. And on a not talking about children, actually freezing like Sauvignon Blanc juice and using it as the ice for blended margaritas is like
Stop it. Oh,
yeah.
pro tip.
Yeah,
Pro tip.
but the kids
Wow.
would just walk around.
But the
with
kids
these
will
little
walk around
cups,
with cups of
and
juice.
and they go to
Pro
the tank
tip.
valve, and they
Yeah.
they open the tank valve, and they just pour juice in there
Wow.
and drink it. They've
Or
been doing
you
it since
pour it
they were
over
like
ice
two.
cream and stuff. But. So
That's
what I'm going to
amazing. I
say about
love
it.
that.
So yeah,
That's such a
since
great
they were
story.
2, but we think about, every time you give your children something, you flip the back of the label and you kind of look at the nutritional and all that stuff. And as all these parents know, like juice, you kind of have to water it down, this and that. Like juice that you just get in a container, like has a lot of sugar, right? Well, God bless the dads. Sometimes the dads don't do that math. And so our kids are just like, just gulping down juice and then like bananas for 4 days. And if you think about like juice
from the
of
vine.
orange juice, cranberry, whatever they're drinking is
Yeah.
like usually you notice on the back, it's what, like 20 to 25 grams of sugar in juice, right? In your typical apple juice. So you water it down. This
70.
is like
70.
70 grams of sugar. And our kids are like, woo! So we really, yeah. So you kind of
kids
are
are
like,
like,
this is so fun. And then I'm like, okay, the
love
kids don't get unlimited 3 times the sugar of like, and it's, of course, it's natural sugar
so
and this
true.
and that. But still, they're like, let's ferment the grapes. So
Yeah,
it's,
keep an eye
it's-
out. They're like trying to like tank dive. They're jumping in
yeah,
the top.
but
like,
you do need to remember. So when we're talking about fermented juice and we're talking about, the bricks of a wine grape are potentially several times higher than the grips, just like a bricks, sorry, of the grapes in a traditional grape juice
Table
sold
grape,
in
yeah.
the store, a
Welch's.
table grape. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Welch's. So imagine giving your kids literally like 9
Welch's times
cups
3.
of Welch's grape juice and then letting them loose.
You just got to put them to work at that point. So
Wow.
how soon do we have to get out there to have some baby wine from the tank and be running around?
You've got about 30
running
days.
around.
30 days.
I'm just
Hyped up
picturing
on
myself though, like,
Don't tell
kind
Osha.
of.
Oh,
like
sorry.
in the
I mean,
morning,
no
taking baby wine. I'm like, get all like sugared up, and then going and just, having real wine, as we go and get a vintage and just see what happens.
balance
A lot
each
of
other.
fun.
Let's just see what happens.
We could call
Let's
it
just see what
pre-wine.
happens.
I think I will
Honestly,
never call
what
it.
could go wrong?
I'm never going to call it
Nothing.
juice again. It's either pre-wine or baby wine, liquid. So the only
Liquid
here's-
baby wine.
to lead off talking about harvest. Here's
Yeah,
my
sorry.
first question for you, and it kind of goes to Mason too. Is harvest more training camp or playoffs?
Playoffs for sure.
Ooh, do
Crunch
tell.
That was fast.
Yeah, training camp is pre-harvest. So that's when we're taking apart all the valves on all the tanks, and we're
Okay.
scrubbing all the floors, and we're cleaning all the
ready.
drains, and we're getting all the barrels prepped and ready, and getting just everything, the whole crush pad, just dismantling and cleaning and putting it all back together, and that's training camp.
Shaking
and
out
then
the
once you
rust.
get into harvest mode, exactly. Day one of harvest is like it's like almost like a preseason game, and then once you get into the groove, the flow of harvest, then you're in
playoffs.
mid-season form. Yeah, right now we're in mid-season form. We're probably like week 4 of a typical football year.
Okay. Well, and
like that
I've
breakdown.
said this before to you guys and on the podcast. Keith is a football guy, not in the same resume
Mason
as
Crosby, no.
Mason. I get that. But
I'm just a kid
Keith's
from
saying
Braintree.
at the end of the day, when everybody is so exhausted and they've been here for 15 hours.
Push yourself.
It's always push yourself, and it's also fourth quarter, finish the game.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter,
Yes.
finish the game.
And we
you
do cheer
just-
each other on.
you're
If someone
so
goes
tired,
into a tank, we do we test the oxygen in the tank. We put a harness on, safety harness, follow all of our guidelines.
gosh.
It's
Go
all
amazing.
of
into
our
the
confined space entry. But once you go into that tank with a shovel, we're outside cheering for you for sure.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
saying,
it's
let's go, push
Yeah.
yourself.
Keep
Come on,
working,
go."
keep going.
So
I love
last
that.
year
Fourth
we
quarter,
were there
finish the game.
at
Fourth
the
quarter,
end
finish the
for
game.
Mason to send the football through. I almost feel like we're letting down the team if we don't get back out there.
Oh my God,
Agreed.
I love some
Well-
self-guilt.
Can't let down the
Paired with
team because
wine.
were we there
Can't let down the team.
post, like, was that like Super Bowl celebration? Was that kind of
No, that was. You're saying where they were was the
we
Super
were
Bowl.
like post, like we were in the celebration mode. We were doing like,
You
it was
can't
like
say
parades,
you can't say it was after harvest because I was gonna put all that stuff
So-
on social media as like harvest time.
No, Super Bowl is, I'm guessing, like once.
Real life, Instagram life.
Tell us when, playoffs hit, and then like when the Super Bowl of harvest happens.
Are we having the Super Bowl right now? 2015, Aida.
Oh, it's so
No.
good. I'm
No.
loving
We're
it.
Yeah,
enjoying
this is-
this, but yes.
Super Bowl's got to be the last day of harvest. I
Yeah.
mean, it is such an amazing feeling to crush those last couple of bins, those last bins of grapes, and you get it through the crush pad, through the optical sorter. Everything's beautiful. It looks like caviar. You dump it into that tank, and you are done.
Done.
That is a good,
Yeah,
good feeling.
but then this,
Then
I
you have
think
to clean and
That part
ferment
sucks.
and press for another 45 days, but you're just done receiving grapes.
And
that
this
is a good feeling.
2015, this is, you're like, okay, we're in the middle of harvest. We're in the middle of the season.
September 30th,
I'm going to
we
go
finished.
back and I'm going to put on my Super Bowl ring. This 2015 is
okay.
a Super Bowl
Okay.
ring.
That's good.
This is you putting on the ring to remind you, this is why we do it.
All
This is
those
beautiful.
reminder- I
This
like
is
that.
delicious. I'm
She's so
putting on my
good.
Super Bowl
She's so
ring.
good.
I'm telling her every week. I'm like, Holly, stay on our podcast, but you should have like many. You're very good at that.
That is the beauty of like
I'm not a
these
free agent.
wines and your memories of like all the harvest and all of that is that right? It's like you
Yeah.
open this bottle, the 2015, it's like I remember all of this, and then you are reliving, the struggles, the trial, but then the energy and excitement of finally getting it in the bottle and
Yeah.
I'm sure at that moment, like you knew what it was going to be, right?
Absolutely.
Gosh, I love that.
And
That's
that's
a-
so different
that's a
from
good
football.
question.
That's really different from football because like when the Packers won the Super Bowl, it was amazing, and we definitely like collapsed to the finish, like the wives and girlfriends, everybody around it. It's how you're talking about it. It's like everyone's gasping, just getting there. But where y'all kind of like finish and then have this optimism moving forward, we were moving into an NFL lockout. It was the final year of Mason's contract. And like, unfortunately, the Super Bowl was unbelievable. I'll admit I was so tired, and Nolan was 6 months old, and like the whole thing was kind of a circus. The ice storms around Dallas. I guess I remember things too, but that
was good.
You try and savor that moment, but there's not the optimism necessarily for the future. Mason always said this after every season. He'd say how sad he was because that team would never be again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you have
we have
one
the same
shot.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
We have
how
the same
is it the
situation
same?
every year. I bring in different interns, sometimes from different countries. A lot of folks from New Zealand, Australia, South America, Mexico, sometimes Chile. I mentioned South America, but sometimes even Spain or France. And we bring in interns from all over. And,
awesome.
it's a different team every year. We have a different team. So
and it's
just like
different
that.
in the vineyard. I mean, you're never going to have the exact same weather. You're never going to have the exact same anything.
Yeah, I was about to say
it.
a second ago, I was about to mention that in 2015, this wine that we're tasting, we finished Aida on September 30th. That's a very early year. That means we finished harvesting.
harvest,
We finished
yeah.
the entire
Oh,
harvest
you finished this
by
the
September
11th.
30th. Yeah, exactly.
So whenever it's
Aida, we
finished,
finished on the 10th.
But
that's a very early
in the
year.
bottle then?
Into the team.
No, that
No,
means that we're
that's
done.
just
That's
the last
starting
fruit
we're
coming
done
in.
bringing in grapes.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the last fruit coming in.
I'm making sure for everybody listening.
That was a good question for the listeners.
We just finished bringing in grapes. So when you say you finished harvest, it means you finished bringing in grapes. And so
Harvest is
September
not
30th
over.
is a very early date to finish the harvest, to finish picking. In a year like 2023, I just wanted to mention the difference. In a year like 2023, we finished on November 15th.
Wow.
So that is just
It
a
is so
completely
different.
different vintage. And they're both wonderful years.
Yeah. Beautiful
Excellent years.
fruit, but that's like when you're going in to do punch downs on Thanksgiving, that sucks.
Yeah.
Just like, this is still happening. What's going on?
Cancel the Mexico trip, honey.
My birthday's October 20th, so I can tell you like
When
how
it's been
haggard
before or
he
after.
was every year. And some years he's fresh and he's like, we can go away for the night. And some years he's like, just come to the winery, we'll have a shot of tequila, it's fine.
Well, so for us, like with playoffs, you live week to week. So you're hopefully winning your game, and then you're watching all the other games going on to see who you're playing. Do you guys have to make adjustments like that, like daily, or do you kind of, once it starts rolling, do you kind of know the program, or is it game
Always.
time? Are you calling new plays each time?
No, you're always pivoting. Yep, you're always changing. In fact, I'm going to have to step away to my computer across the office and hit send as soon as I get these results from Ben. Ben's going to come up with some juice for
His
me to
assistant
taste.
winemaker.
This is
Testing,
it's
some
pre-wine.
grape samples right now.
Pre-wine.
Pre-wine.
Yeah,
Pre-wine.
And as soon as I taste the juice, because I just walked all those blocks this morning, I just went out to the vineyards and walked the blocks. So I know what I tasted. I know what I saw. He sent a team out there to sample. So they have big, 300 grape berry samples. And as soon as he brings those juices up and I taste them, I'm going to go and call the pick for tomorrow, because the farmer right now is waiting for me to tell him what we're picking tomorrow. So it's a game. And the only reason that I'm on pause, usually I give 48 hours notice, but the only reason I'm on pause is because of the sprinkles we had yesterday.
And also because of this podcast is
Yes.
a priority.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Also for our listeners.
For us, Kohler isn't just a brand, it's a part of our story. My dad was an exclusive Kohler dealer, so I grew up knowing their commitment to quality and design.
And for me, I helped open Lodge Kohler in Green Bay, and we've celebrated some of our best memories there, like my 40th birthday at Black Wolf Run.
Kohler, Wisconsin and Kohler properties have always been our favorite places to relax, connect, and of course, enjoy great wine together.
So it feels full circle that Kohler Company, boldly innovating for over 150 years, is now part of Crosby's crew, bringing extraordinary moments to everyday life. Cheers to that.
Head coach Keith Emerson here on the Crosby Screw podcast. You are a head coach. You are just running that offense, running that team.
Same?
I'll take it.
How is it the same, Mason? So now we've had a week of football. Like, are you looking at teams like
great
they're going to
question.
do it this year? I mean, there's going to be wild cards there too. Like, we have weather. I don't want to jinx anybody saying injuries or anything like that, but
It's the truth.
you've watched.
Week one of football.
Week one.
Yeah, as you're
How you
into
thinking?
harvest, you're working through it. Yeah, I mean, it's
trees,
similar in that regard where it's like Molly said, pivoting. You might have said like, okay, we did this last week, or we picked these grapes. Like, all right, I like how this is, but now we need to go over here and we need to do it. We need to get this lot and we need to get this, this batch going. Similar in the football space, right? It's like, all right, what worked last week isn't always going to work in the in the following week. You got to break some tendencies. You got to kind of adjust and find different ways.
Oh my gosh, it's the pre-wine.
That's
it's
what
here.
everyone's doing right now.
The pre-wine is here.
You guys,
Everybody,
we are
this is
watching.
Ben.
Hi, Ben.
So, this is Ben Perotti.
Heck yeah.
Good job delivering the pre-wine.
He's our
Good
eyes and
job
ears out in the
delivering the
vineyards.
pre-wine. He can't hear you.
You guys,
Okay. He
first
can't hear
time. Oh, right. First time on Crosby's Crew. We are watching wine, like the harvest process is
Seriously.
happening right in front of our eyes.
Taking notes.
Shameless plug for watching our YouTube channel.
And just to show how connected wine and football and everything is, Ben, you went
I
to
was
high
in the
school,
same football program as Dave Bakhtiari. Yeah.
which
Wow.
Dave
So,
Bakhtiari, yeah.
that's awesome.
tackle.
That's right.
Yeah, we've heard of him.
Yes, we know Dave.
Went to school,
Oh,
went to
sorry.
college
That
with
was
him.
for our listener.
They live here
That
in
was for our
Nashville.
That's awesome.
They also live here in
Bakhtiari.
Nashville.
with him.
Oh.
They went to college with him.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Well, Ben
Well, he
played
was
for
younger
them.
than me.
That's right.
I
don't
didn't
know how to
actually-
be-
He
I mean,
was
he went to
more
the same
my
school.
age.
Oh, it's okay.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
No.
That's great.
If he talks in the mic, can you guys hear?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. That's
Okay,
how
good.
the mic,
Ben,
that's how
come
the
say
mic
hi.
works.
They just can't hear.
Hey,
yes,
Ben,
I
how's-
was in the same football program as Dave.
Wow.
He was a couple years older than me, so he was obviously a lot better. But
Sarah High School, right?
Sarah
Sarah High School,
Yeah.
shout
Small
out.
world.
home of Tom Brady and Barry Bonds and Lynn Swan.
Oh, it's a
But also
problem
Ben
you guys
Perotti.
haven't
And
achieved
then
anything.
Ben Perotti.
And
Then
also
Ben
Ben
Perotti
Perotti.
Clearly.
and David Bakhtiari. Yes.
And then Tony Biaggi.
And
Big
Tim.
winemaker.
Oh, and Tony Biaggi. We were just
Hourglass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he went there. Tony Biaggi. We were just talking about him because
Wow.
they're gonna hopefully get an Hourglass auction lot
There you
tonight.
go.
We are on the clock
That's
to
so
win
awesome.
this evening.
How's this looking?
Looking great.
Great job.
Okay.
So, guys, just a quick harvest update since we're in the thick of it, as you know. We had 3 blocks that were on the schedule for today. And based on what Ben just brought up, we're going to call one of them off and we're going to pick
Oh.
the other 2. So I'm going to go and hit send on my computer and I will be back.
Okay,
love
I have
it.
a football question for Mason. Keith, give Holly your AirPod. Ben's got it. Even better. No, Ben,
Ben,
sit down.
yeah.
Ben, maybe Ben would like to help make picks. So,
yeah.
so
Ben, have a seat.
So
on the hot seat
Keith just made a pick. Mason, after week 1, clearly the Packers are Super Bowl contenders. How are you calling tomorrow night's game?
Oh, are we picking the game? Okay, so I know, doing media, doing some different things now. I think they are 3.5-point favorites.
It's very technical.
Very technical, but I mean, you can always just pick them to win with the money line. But I will take the Packers and those 3.5 points all day, every day on a Thursday night in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's an easy pick.
As an avid sports gambler, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, there you are. Nice. We got our resident sports bettor there in the
Ben, who's your team?
Vineyard 29.
49ers.
Naturally,
They-
they are
looking
not
really
our
good.
team.
Yeah, they got
I know they're not.
they got the win, but lost George Kittle for a bit. Looks like Brock Purdy's on the injury report. Like, who knows what McCaffrey's calves are going to do on a regular
Exactly.
basis? Like,
Exactly.
He has
Yeah.
more calf strains than anyone in history, I think.
Look, man. Look, McCaffrey's a tough one. I love him, but I have to.
Oh yeah.
2
I'm
years
aware
ago
of
in the
that.
playoff. Yeah, thank you. That's why you're being so friendly. But the way he played, was it 2 years ago in the playoffs? I feel like he almost won that game single-handedly.
Yeah. He's a beast.
It honestly made me such a fan to see him willingly put the whole team on his back. And that's a great segue to going from like the realities of harvest, the day in and day outs, making the calls, making the picks. To now we're gonna. I will admit I had like a little bit of a plan today.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Does
my
she
gosh,
have a-
Molly's
does
taking
she
off
have
her
a
clothes.
cheer- yeah, what's
Okay,
happening?
Hold on, is there a cheerleading outfit?
Yes,
No,
yes.
no, we only have
All right,
100
turn the
followers.
video off. Turn
no,
the video off.
okay, so I have on my Packers shirt for our next, and Ben's like, and I'm out. I've got my Packers shirt for our next segment. Green. Oh, you are. You see, you don't even
wearing green
Packers
today.
green.
You don't even know what a Packer fan you are. So now we are going to segue to talking about the great teams in Packers history.
Okay.
And the great
Ben's definitely out on this one.
I gotta go, guys. Hey, harvest calls.
Thanks for
All
coming,
right.
Ben.
Keep working hard.
And talking about exceptional vintages, like the years you're supposed to collect. And
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. And do you know at this stage in the game if it's going to be one of those like all-time great vintages? So like Mason, did you know in 2010? Do you want to tell the story about Nolan? You did have an inkling you were going to win the Super Bowl. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but my glass is empty.
Oh, sorry.
Like priorities, pour Molly wine, and then I want to hear the story.
There's many questions here, and y'all unpack it as you can. First, we'll be discussing like great teams in Packers legends, then or in Packer lore. Then did they know they were going to be teams we were going to be talking about? And then wine vintages. Like, do you know leading into it, like, oh my gosh, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, people are going to be looking for wines from 2025. And then we're going to have a little bit of a debate.
Okay.
I like it.
So
I think Mason starts.
Yeah. Sure. So 2010 team.
Did you know in training camp?
I will say 2010's team was it was a progression. Say harvest, like you're saying, there's like points where it's like mid-season and like you kind of saw it building, and it was like as you're picking grapes and doing all of that, you're probably all right, like we have something here as you're tasting and you're like, okay, this is going to be really good. I would say that's probably what 2010 season and team felt like, whereas like we knew we had a young team, a really good team, but we just didn't even know what that meant to go and win a Super Bowl. So it was just throughout the season we had a bunch of injuries. I mean, we were only 10-6, so there was a lot of like a long period of time.
Had to win the last game of the season against Chicago,
and
to make it into the playoffs,
and have the Eagles return a punt for a touchdown to knock, what was that?
I don't remember.
I think it was the Giants out. Deshaun Jackson returns a punt for a touchdown to win that game, gave us a shot. We beat the Bears and we get in, and the rest is history. So I think sometimes there's seasons like that where it's like, you almost like, I'm sure it happens in harvest, weather, different thing. You're like, I'm not sure. And then something surprises you, right? And it's like, this ended up being really awesome. And that's probably how 2010 season was and that Super Bowl year was.
You just remembered all the details like Keith remembered the 2015. So it is a thing.
It is a thing. So we couldn't decide what to name Nolan when he was born. So I actually went into labor.
Oh, this is the story.
Was it Bengals
and
or
Nolan's
Browns?
your oldest.
Browns game, yeah.
15 years old. It was the Browns game, our first child. I was really worried about going to the hospital and not being in labor, so I didn't tell anybody that I was pretty sure I was having contractions. And Mason, it was his first night that he got to stay home from being at camp. And he literally said, just don't have the baby tonight, which he was joking because it would have been a week early. But I already knew I was probably in labor. So I just let him go to sleep. I walked around the house for about 8 hours crying. While he was sleeping, and then I woke him up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, "Hey,"
makes me sound really bad.
No, you're awesome. And well, I wanted him.
I didn't know this was happening. Don't worry. If I had known it was happening, I would have obviously said, "Let's go to the hospital." I didn't
want him to not sleep if it was a false alarm. Like everybody says, you're going to be late with your first kid, blah blah blah. So I waited till I was like having a major contraction every 4 minutes to wake him up. And I was like, I think we should go to the hospital now. And so we went, and Nolan was born like 3-4 hours later. And, and we had like a short list of names and we could not decide. And I brought the baby book in like my bag or whatever. And I was like, well, let's just reread all the definitions or like Bible verses or things that go with it. And I was really leaning towards Pearson or Pierce, and Mason read Nolan which, side note, I didn't know he had major bias. Like, that was his name all along because of Nolan Ryan, the baseball player who lived in his hometown. But the definition for Nolan said champion. And Mason, I kid you not, holding Nolan, goes, maybe we'll win the Super Bowl this year. Let's call him Nolan.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
That actually happened. But so do you have those harvest moments? Like, are there indicators?
I love it.
Oh, thanks, Holly.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Okay,
That
what are
makes me
indicators
cry.
that it's like going to be a good one?
Oh, there's so many. One thing, so like yesterday's a good example. I sat down. Actually, I never sit down, hardly ever, but I stood up. I stood up behind
You
Ben.
stood still.
Sir.
And with a calculator, and we have a map right above Ben's desk. There's above his computer. There's all of our vineyard maps, and so. What I always look at is once we get the weigh tags, we weigh the grapes, we process the fruit, we get it into tank. Once we get those weigh tags in, I go immediately to the map and I figure out how many tons per acre we got. And that tells me about the vintage. That tells me a lot. It tells me, okay, so this is going to be a heavy year, or this is going to be a light year, or this is going to be pretty moderate, pretty average year. And so that tells me, it gives me a good, foresight, I guess, to think about what the vintage is going to be. And then it makes me make decisions on what I'm going to do to the tank, to that tank of fermenting grapes. What am I going to do to it? Sorry, baby
That
water.
all happens in that moment. That happens in that moment when you get
Yeah,
that
so-
number and you calculate how much fruit grew.
Yeah.
And then you
Additions.
check yourself, okay, we're going to harvest more stuff tomorrow. And then you check again. Oh yeah, that's heavy as well. Shoot, it's going to be a heavy year. Or, oh, that's light. And you get trends. And then by, week 3 of harvest, you sort of know what kind of vintage it's going to be, what kind of year it's going to be.
Interesting.
So do you have coordinators, like an offensive, defensive coordinator, or is it all just right here?
It's teamwork, nobody's more important than anyone else. That's what I preach all the time.
Are we at a post-game press
Yeah,
conference?
exactly. That's what I said. Just one plate at a time, guys. We're just one grape at a time.
I'll go and scrub the gutters and clean the drains. I'll do everything, all the dirty work that you guys are afraid to do. You have to do that. And at least in winemaking, you really during harvest you have to show what it's like to push and get the gritty stuff done. It's not all glamour. It's definitely some dirty work. So
Dude, there's nothing glamorous about this. Like literally nothing.
Except for the wine in this glass.
except for this wine.
The
This is
wine
pretty
in
nice.
this glass.
Yes,
We get to
true. But
taste
okay,
the-
you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
We went from cashmere to silk.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
fancy food that Chef Jimmy is cooking upstairs is pretty fancy too.
All right. I
Mason,
didn't
we've gotta
say
go.
I didn't
We've
say
gotta
in
go
our
right now.
life. I mean harvest. There's not
Like the
necessarily
toast at the beginning, right? It makes the labor worth the wine. It's like the wine
Or
becomes
the time.
You keep trying to change
that's
it.
right.
but
I do.
it's worth
Every
the
time he
wine.
says the quote, I'm like,
Labor,
but it could
the
also be that.
labor makes it worth it for the wine that we have in our glass. Like once
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
open it up and it's great. And Molly, you wanted to ask
I
about
want to
some
know.
vintage.
I want to know if you agree with this list of, because I noticed that your team isn't on here that you guys thought was the 2010 Packers are, but the
2011.
the 2011 Packers are not. So this list, thank you, ChatGPT, says 1966 Packers Super Bowl I champs with Bart Starr and Lombardi
Yeah, that's a pretty
coaching.
good one.
1996 Packers Favre, Reggie White Super Bowl champs. 1962 Packers dominant Hall of Fame, dominant defense with 11 Hall of Famers. 2010 Packers, the wild card miracle run to Super Bowl
my God, I love
XLV.
that.
And then 1965 Packers, start of Lombardi's three-peat dynasty, with a footnote of the 2011 Packers, which went 15-1, but didn't go to the Super Bowl. Do you agree with that list?
I mean, it's hard to
That's a great
it's
question.
hard to dispute. I wish we had more modern era teams, the teams that I played on, because we definitely had teams that should have qualified, but you just didn't get home. You didn't win the Super Bowl, right? And that is the crowning jewel. It's like if you don't win the Super Bowl, you could have had a good team, but you just didn't get the job done, right? And that was, I mean, I can't tell you what, I played in 7 NFC championship games. So it's like we had good teams for a lot of my career, but we only got 1 Super Bowl. So yeah, got to look at that. And honestly, again, a 2010 Packers team, at the beginning of the year, that wasn't
it.
I mean, it wasn't the team I would have said like, this is the squad.
This is the one that's
That
going to do
2011
team.
Yeah, you guys
because
were
we
on
knew
fire
what we
in
did.
2011. I remember that.
Went, it's like 15-1, just the dominant offense, lighting the scoreboard up, all the things. Like that was the team where it was like after 2010, after winning it, you're like, this is the team.
We're ready.
This is going to be the best team in Packer history, and it was in a lot of like statistical ways, but. We just didn't get to the Super Bowl.
So then
win it.
is wine harvesting a little bit more predictable? Like, can you get to the promised land with more regularity, or would you say it's elusive also? Like you're going to make great wine year after year, but that like exception, like the best of the best is still elusive.
It's actually, Mason was wrong when he said something a few minutes ago. Sorry, buddy.
Here we go.
Mother Nature is the head coach.
Mother Nature is the
Mother
head
Nature is the head
coach.
coach.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was
I am
my
not
mistake.
the head coach. I am just a coordinator of some sort.
There you
but
are.
I'm like a scout. But no, Mother Nature calls the shots, and so she'll change the harvest. She'll throw some surprises at you, and you just have to roll with the punches. So it's pretty unpredictable. She's definitely in charge. Yep.
I like that.
This is maybe not a controversial question, but I know that on our end, so the Vineyard 29, the 2013, Keith already is rolling his eyes. The 2013 Vineyard 29 Estate Cab got 100 points from Robert Parker.
He's
He's definitely rolling his eyes because again, it's like you don't know all the stuff that goes in and out, and so I'm just gonna say it. And winemakers, they have to put their all into every single vintage, and like it's great to have the recognition from the critics, but you have to good years and challenging years.
You have to make great wine no matter what.
Make great wines no matter what.
Yeah.
And so, but people always ask me, like, oh, so the 2013 that you got 100 points on, like that must be Keith's favorite wine. That must be the wine, the favorite one. And so like,
is he pouring himself more wine right now?
I know for a fact that it is not necessarily the wine. And I don't want to say most proud of, because he's proud. It's like, you're proud of all your kids. You're proud of all these accomplishments.
No, we're not,
but it's not the one. Sure. And so I guess it's maybe controversial or it's a tough question to ask you, Mason. Like, are you most proud of a Super Bowl win, or are you most proud of another season? Super Bowl's pretty great.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
In that regard, I have to say, like in that sports world, in the NFL and football, like if you don't win a Super Bowl, like you've pretty much, you've fallen short.
Two groups.
Okay.
There's two
A
groups.
Super Bowl is different than a 100-point
Parker
Parker score. I get that. In our world, that's a huge deal.
Well,
but
that's
the Super
pretty
Bowl is
subjective,
like in the
too.
whole world people know
whole
what
world,
the Super Bowl is.
really
But it's
United
just like
States.
when you're in it, and like I can appreciate now that I'm done
You heard
playing.
that?
What'd you say?
I said it's a world champion, but it's just in the United States. No big deal.
Okay, it's fine.
It's of the
But you love
world.
it. Go Packers!
Go Pack, go!
Well, now you've distracted me.
Favorite team ever.
No, I don't know. I'm
Thing
just
you're
saying.
most proud of.
It's just,
Ooh, see, she
if
went
you-
deeper. I didn't ask that.
I didn't mean to.
No, I love that. That's what
do
I
you have
wanted
any
to
other
ask.
Shirts on under this?
No,
Okay.
this shirt has to stay on.
All right. No, I was saying, like, as an athlete doing that forever, it's and I'm sure there's times there in the harvest and all of that where it's like, man, like again, you're in the middle of harvest, something happens, storm, whatever, knock on wood, like hope none of it, like, but
Unforeseen.
it's just like a bad situation happens. You saw it going one way, it goes another, and then now you're having to pivot, right? And in the sports world, playing football, literally, I can look back now and reflect on so many more things than when I was in it. Like when I was in it, like it was, unless we won a Super Bowl, it was like, that was a failed season.
It was a forget it year.
It was just it was you fell short of the ultimate goal. You could look at your stats and be like, I was fine. But as a team, you collectively didn't achieve your goal if you didn't win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it's like, I won it in 2010, and then I was trying to win another one. The whole rest of my career never happened. And so now I can wear my Super Bowl ring proudly, but I didn't wear it.
He never wore
I
it
didn't
until
wear
he
it
was
for-
done playing.
yeah, for the
Can I
last,
wear
what,
it?
Yes.
I would like to wear
Yes,
it.
you
10
can.
years, 15 years. Yeah.
You can put on the next
you
one
kinda
too.
to kind of tie that to harvests and different vintages, when I'm making a final blend for a wine. So I'm at the blending table. I'm doing those last little tweaks, those last little adjustments with different blenders. I have the previous 3 vintages on the table.
Yeah.
So, if it's this Aida 15, when I was finalizing this blend, I had the 14, 13, and 12 on the table.
I love it.
And I always
Can we
strive
come for
to
that
make
day?
it better
It's the
than
best
those
day to be here.
previous 3
It's
years.
literally the best day to be here.
So you want to, anything
When
you're
is
about
that
to bottle,
day?
you
Yeah,
want it
I
better
need to
than
be
the
there.
previous.
I need to be
Yeah,
there that day.
that is my favorite day.
And that is
That's your
why
favorite day.
I'm so glad we're focusing more on wine now, because like so much of football is out of your control. But Keith's coordinating over here. Like we can hit home runs every day of the week. All right, guys. I know you probably aren't going to want to do this, but what are vintages that have happened that like
That's okay.
everybody across the board is like, yeah, these were the years. Like if you can collect this year of wine in Napa, let's go just Napa.
Yeah, there's different years because some of them are more structure years. They're more ageable.
Okay.
And some of them are more juicy sort of drink now type of years, and people, it depends on the audience. It depends on
I wanna know them
who
both.
the consumer
No,
is.
just give delicious
So,
ones.
so structure, like good
Delicious.
ageable years are like 13, even 15, but delicious and sort of perfect years
See?
for me
Different.
are
14.
16, 19, and 21. Those are all sort of ideal vintages that I can think of.
We'll
in the
place a
last,
separate order
10
after
years.
this podcast.
Yeah, right.
is
Okay,
Again,
but also
I can't remember
Oh,
why.
she doesn't agree. This is good. Go.
No. I do agree.
She agrees.
I agree with those actual delicious wines. However, I also think we bring our own, I don't want to say biases in a negative way, but we bring our own biases into this conversation. The fact that I loved this wine, then I learned it's Elizabeth's birth year and I love it 100 times more.
Yeah, 1000%.
So there's things that I drink where I'm like, I love this because I remember. And this is like a quick story. Our good friend Julian Fayard is an amazing winemaker like Keith. He's our neighbor. He's our best friend. He came over for dinner last week and he brought a bottle of 05 Lale. On its own, with zero biases, drinking it blind, it was stunning. It was 20 years old and it was delicious, right?
That's amazing.
We
it's-
actually helped make it 20 years ago
and but
together.
so I was like, oh my gosh, I love this wine. I love them as a producer in general. The fact that this wine is 20 years old, super fresh and beautiful. But then we all sat there and Keith was like, this was my very first vintage at Vineyard 29. That wine was made at Lale by Philippe Melka, who was
Vineyard
making
29.
those wines. I'm sorry. Did I say it on Vineyard 29?
At Vineyard 29.
At Vineyard 28. So the wine was made here and it was Keith's first year. So he worked on that wine at the beginning. I started at Vineyard 29 in 2006.
As did Julian. With
Julian
Melka.
got to the US from France in 2006, was looking for a job, ended up with Melka, who was making that wine here at Vineyard 29. Julian and I started around the same time. So here we are sitting here 20 years later, drinking this wine that I already loved. And then I started crying because I loved it even more because the three of
weird.
us,
It was
20
weird
are
how
having
emotional
dinner.
it was, actually.
It was so emotional
For all
because
of
here
you.
we are 20 years later. Keith and I certainly were not together. Julian, we didn't even know him. And the three of us are now, Keith and I are married. Julian's our neighbor and best friend. And the three of us 20 years later are sitting there drinking this wine and remembering where we were in 2005 and 2006 when this wine was in the cellar. It made that. So now, just because of that experience, because of those memories, and because it was delicious, that's one of my favorite wines. So I think it's important. And same with, 09s. Of course I'm going to love the 09s. And I think we think about the things that happen in our life. And that's why we love wine so much, right? No
It's why
offense
we
to any
love
other
wine.
industry, but you don't look at the side of a bottle of seltzer and say, oh, this hard seltzer was bottled on this date. What were you doing at the time? They're really, and the fact that this wine has changed so much in that time is
great.
amazing. That is why it brings it together. And we're very lucky. You can go back and watch clips of these Super Bowl things, but the fact that people can go back and have wine sentimental to them. So I think it's important to
Time
know
capsule.
the great years, but also the point of it is to look at that vintage and say, what were we doing then? That was such an amazing year.
remind you
Or
of?
that
What does
was
it
a
remind you
tough
of?
year. And now look at how beautiful. Here's something beautiful that came out of a year that was really challenging in my life. And looking at it, looking back on it and seeing how that wine has evolved, how you have evolved, it's like, wow, how can something that was so hard that year, 2011 was a challenging vintage. We drink a 2011 now and we're like, way to come through, man. You're so
did
pretty
it.
now. Yeah. And
The
so
summer
I
turned
think
pretty. The harvest I
Cheers to
turned
that.
pretty.
Oh my gosh, I have to watch the episode today. So I do think that it's important to look at, like, you can look at a vintage chart and you can chat GBT what are great vintages in Napa Valley. And it is important to factor that in, but also factor in what was happening in your life. What memories will this wine invoke? And I think that is so, again, as somebody who cried last weekend drinking a bottle of wine with my amazing husband and my best friend, like, that's huge.
Can't say that
Huge.
about seltzer for sure. And
love
it's
it.
why we
I love
love
seltzer.
wine. It's why we love wine.
So good.
And
And the
even
fun thing is to compare compare vintages. Like a lot of times they'll say, what does this remind you of? And actually we do this end of the harvest winemaker tasting at the Culinary Institute next
We'd
door.
also like to
And-
be at
and it's a
that.
really fun taste. Yeah.
I
And
always
it's,
send you
what
pictures
is-
out
what does
there.
this year remind you of? And like 2023 reminds everybody of 18, which reminds everybody of 05.
but there's
different years
consensus
that-
there. There is
Yeah.
like kind of clear consensus. Because
No, it's really fun. You bring it.
You
There's
bring
a
that
table.
bottle. You bring a bottle from 05 because this year reminds you of 05. Or you bring a bottle from 12
Okay,
because
so
this year
you're trying
reminds
And
you
you
of
put
12.
a little tag, and
Yeah.
you literally put a little
This
tag
reminds me
on your
of-
bottle.
yeah.
And
That's
so you're
awesome.
looking at other people's, and it's like
So
very,
time travel
very
has
famous
been
winemakers.
invented. Time travel is invented,
Yeah,
and it's in wine
really
country.
Cool, and
That's
it's
awesome.
just really cool that somebody had to sit down. That Francois and all these really John Scuffney, like all these very famous winemakers in the valley, have to sit down and be like, oh, this reminds me of this. Or there's 3 tables. There's juice from the current. There is
Baby wine.
vintage baby wine. There is vintages that remind you of another vintage. And then my favorite table is winemakers I'm inspired by. And the first thing I do as the proudest wife in America, in also probably the world, is I go to that table and to find
Super Bowl champ
wines.
wife.
No, to find wines that people have thought about and write on a tag. I was inspired by Keith Emerson, and this is his wine. Like, that makes me, I cry a lot, as it turns out. But
It's very
Seems like-
tenderhearted.
Yeah.
Sounds
It's
like
very
it.
tenderhearted. But you know what I like most about all of that is talking about people around a table. And to me,
Yeah.
that's like the goal of Crosby's Crew and relating our sports world experiences to what your present gig and enduring gig is. Because I think Keith said earlier he's always going to be doing a harvest. And so forever is the fact that
Harvest
there's
something every year.
harvest something is that there's something amazing about being around a table and sharing experiences and wine. You can't say that about seltzer. So we're going to have a quick ad break about some other things that have become important to us and be back after that.
One of the best things about this podcast is how it connects our love of wine with the people and companies who share that passion.
Like Perlick Refrigeration. We first crossed paths through Mason's work with Sartori Cheese and Make-A-Wish, where Mason met Jeff Schwager, who's now on Perlick's board and an investor in one of our favorite Napa wineries, Ovid.
Perlick has been setting the standard for wine storage for over a century, and their wine refrigeration is second to none because great wine deserves perfect care.
We're proud to have Perlick as part of Crosby's Crew, keeping our wine at the perfect temp, from the first pour to the last drop.
Keith and Holly, you guys have given us some questions throughout, but do you have different questions? Do you have a couple questions? Do you have individual questions? Where are we going with this?
I think they're most memorable. What was the most? So we've talked about some memorable vintages for us, and I'm coming up with this on the fly. I feel like having a 6-month-old and winning the Super Bowl, that's got to be really memorable. But
Yeah.
give us a
I'll
really
give you one.
memorable season, because you've been to all of them together. You've been to all of them together.
I wonder if
Molly's
you
not your third wife. She's
guess.
like your one and only.
Sometimes we guess that I'm his second wife also.
She looks so youthful and amazing.
She's
like
so
she could be.
It's because
she
I
could
have
be my
sporadic
third wife.
acne. It really
Gosh, you're so ridiculous.
makes me look young.
All right,
She's a teenager.
Again, reminder to all the listeners out there: if we get to Well, you've bumped it to
1,000.
1,000 subscribers, 1,000 people on our YouTube channel. She will wear her Colorado cheerleading outfit.
Yes.
So
10,000 and Mason will wear it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me
Spots.
give me a memorable season, and it can be college
Memorable
as well.
season.
Like just
All right.
a memorable. It can be high school.
Tell
It
me
can be
what
any
you
of it.
think mine would be.
Your
I
most
like this
memorable
game.
season? Oh, and we should also say what we tasted.
Like
in
what
this.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
What I think you're thinking?
Like in this moment, Holly got kind of, like
I
deep
think-
in
I
emotion.
think the
I
year
got
that-
weepy.
I think the year that you had a perfect field goal season.
Nope.
Isn't it? But you talked about working with JK and Hunter and how you
Nope.
guys came together, and they were the
Nope.
ones who made him do this Lambeau leap picture behind us. He actually he was one of like 6 players in NFL
Molly,
history who had a perfect field goal season.
Hashtag proud wife.
I remember
But
that.
you kind of, you referenced this, and that was not my perfect season. This was 2019.
He's
and
really good at this.
That
I'm
is the
not.
season I was going to talk about. That's my most memorable season. I remember more
2019?
about
Gosh,
2019.
that was, oh, Holly, the week
Good
you've had,
vintage too, right?
I had a year
Good
of
drinkable
that.
vintage.
I love that. Okay,
Well,
so how old were your kids?
so
Like, what was you doing in 2019?
2019
Molly?
is
I had cancer.
The year Molly was diagnosed with
course.
lung cancer, and we had to, do that. She had
During training
surgery
camp.
During training camp.
Mason's job was kind of on the line.
New head coach. Yeah, I had to fight for my job. Was it, got the job back.
Literally after I came out of surgery.
She came out of surgery, got the call.
We didn't know
They
if he was
called
getting
me.
cut or. I just tell better stories. Go
No,
ahead.
you just
Go ahead.
throw
Sorry.
your comments in there. Yeah, so never want to get a call from the team, especially on like cut down time. So I'm like, Molly, they're calling me. I don't know.
I'm
Like,
literally
I'm
coming
assuming this
to
is
from my lung surgery.
call me to tell me that
Mayo
like
Clinic.
I'm going to be their guy for the for that year. So that was awesome news. She's coming out of recovery. Horrible thing from that year, and don't want to bring this all down, but my brother, my sister-in-law, our sister-in-law, my brother's wife, Brittany, passes away there
On Thanksgiving.
day after Thanksgiving,
Early morning.
in 2019. So I just remember so many moments from that season.
Oh yeah, that Giants game was big for you.
Yeah, I had to
In
go
between getting us down
All right,
for the
we don't
funeral.
need- yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Let me tell it.
Okay,
let
I'll
me
drink
tell
my
my
wine.
year. So this picture in the back is me doing a Lambeau leap against the Detroit Lions' first game that Molly got to come back and come to a game after she was recovered from her surgery. She's sitting in the end zone. Then I kicked the kick, did the Lambeau leap. So I would say, 2019 for me is probably outside of winning a Super Bowl, like the most memorable. Like it was trying, it was tough, but there were a lot of redeeming moments and beautiful moments within that. And I think that would be my most memorable year.
Did you have a game winner against the Giants?
2-game winners against Detroit that year.
Oh,
We never led the game against Detroit until the final kick in both those games that year.
And that's so fitting to talk about as we're in the first week of harvest, first week of the NFL season where the Packers played the Lions and won. Sorry, Lions fans. Looks like the departure of those coordinators is going to be tough. But anyways, my favorite season is my favorite season was the year you had the perfect field goal percentage because he called himself a field goal. Wasn't that against the Vikings or was that the last year you were in Green Bay?
It was the last year.
Okay, wine muddles.
So
my brain.
Molly's not remembering much of
Let me go back to the year you had a perfect field goal season though. So I couldn't plan a celebration for it. But I told some of our close friends like, hey, if he goes 100% this last game, I have some wine ready. I want you to be at the house before he gets home from the stadium and we're going to celebrate. And it was kind of like that moment you guys had drinking that 2005 wine because we couldn't talk about it all season, but to just be together. I'm still recovering from the fact that he hugged his friend before he hugged me. Cause there's been some questions of like who he loves more. And I felt like it was answered that night,
No
but we
question.
were, yeah, it's Mark, isn't it?
No.
So we were all waiting for him. It was a late night game. The kids were all tucked into sleep. And that whole season you don't talk about it, but you hold your breath and you can't shy away from big kicks. Like you got to do all the things. And when that final regular season game ended and he went, and there were hard kicks that year too. It's not like there was no 50 plus, or although like kickers are knocking those down these days, like they're pre-wine, but it was so special. That moment I'll never forget, cheersing him, toasting that season. That wasn't super. So do y'all have your whiteboards there?
Well, what are we supposed to write down?
The whiteboard today
We
was
love
going
the wine.
to
It's
be was going to
amazing.
be your favorite sports team of all time.
Oh gosh, that's a tough one just to do in the moment.
No pressure.
I'm
Are
just
we
going to
really
throw it
doing
out.
that?
I'm going to throw it out so I can say later, I knew it. Audrey's soccer team, the Vintage Crushers, is going to get they're going to get the triangle this year.
The triangle. We've talked about the triangle. Let's go.
Nice.
The triangle is the shape of the VVAL flag, and they're going to win it this year.
I can't do that.
You have to pick your favorite sports team of all time.
Sports team of
Or
all
like
time?
favorite season. Sorry, pick your favorite
we
season.
just did. I
Or
thought I
actually,
just
I
did.
just had another one. It's very open-ended. Pick your favorite season. Pick your favorite season.
I don't know.
It can be a team.
Okay, I'm going to say mine.
Y'all can say vintage.
It can be
too.
anything.
I
It can be
know.
a team, a season,
Mine's gonna
a
be.
year.
Mine's gonna be.
Honey, that's the whiteboard. You're not supposed to say it.
Mine's gonna be the same. For two.
Pick your favorite sports team or favorite season of all time.
Wait,
Can't remember
gosh,
what year that- oh,
2019 is not my favorite.
This is
Dang it.
hard.
So pick. Sorry, guys. I didn't know I had to tell you this ahead of
Well,
time.
Molly, yeah, you probably should have.
But that's why it's fun. It's spur of the moment.
Well, I don't feel very spurred on right now.
We ready?
No, y'all go and I'll figure it out.
Keith is easy.
Shoot, I feel like I got this. All right.
Wait,
Keith,
favorite-
go first.
Wait, we're doing sports?
Yeah. 85
Nice.
Celtics. Oh my gosh, I wonder
Show him
if
your
Tom was
Celtics
part of them
tattoo.
then.
Show him your
You have a
Celtics
tattoo.
tattoo.
I love
He
it.
has a Celtics tattoo that he got when he was 17 years old.
How did you do
What
that?
are you doing?
$20 will go a long way in 1975 or whatever.
All right, let's.
Okay, Holly,
We're
do
gonna
you have
wrap
one?
it up for the listeners here. Let's
I
get
do.
this thing.
All right.
Obviously, I have two. I have the 2024 Vintage Crushers girls
Yes.
soccer. Bless
Yes.
their
Nice.
hearts. Trey Taylor, well done. I also have the 2000 Boston Red Sox because I was in college then. They hadn't won a World Series. They were still cursed, but it was
Nomar.
a great team. Nomar Garciaparra. Pedro was pitching. I went to Northeastern University. It was right across the fence from there. And so I never really had, growing up, I didn't necessarily have a sports team. And that was a fun one. So
Did
those are my
we
two.
tell you that
Atta
one of our
girl.
neighbors here won a World Series with the Red Sox?
No.
Isn't
Swear
that
to
fun?
God.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Brock Holt.
Send them out.
Yep.
Okay, so
I
I
have a few Red Sox.
I decided I was going to be
World
clever,
Series champ
and I put
friends,
that
so
my
yeah,
favorite
come on
season. I put my favorite season is fall. But I also like the 2020 Packers, where you had your perfect season. That was amazing. It was beautiful.
Also, fall.
What just happened? I mean, I was gonna write.
I like summer. I like summer.
I was gonna write June 28th,
He's still writing.
2008.
I will say
There
my
it is.
favorite
What's
Disney
this?
moment is when Olaf says glide and pivot. Like I literally say that in my head all the time because that's
right.
real life,
This
right?
is my
Glide and pivot.
favorite- My favorite, time.
Oh, what a suck up. It's our
is it?
anniversary.
That's our wedding day.
That's fantastic.
Oh, that's
What's
your
your favorite
favorite
sports
season.
we
My
didn't say
favorite
what we
sports
smelled.
season
I don't know. You,
Molly.
you had like
This
14
was just
things. You said
delicious.
season, vintage, sports
I
team.
smell. I smell leather,
Oh man.
red berries. There's my tasting notes. Thanks, guys. This is fun.
That's good.
Oh my God, I love
I
you guys
loved
so
it.
much.
Harvest-
Hopefully, we'll be there for the next podcast.
Harvest Talk was amazing. We are gonna try to sneak out because I want some baby
Yeah.
wine.
Baby wine, free
And
juice.
I want to run
Free
around
wine.
that. I want to run around that.
Just
that
remember it
space.
has like a lot of sugar.
Okay.
We'll do
Let's
the
get
margarita
crazy.
version.
Heck yeah.
We want it all. Thank you.
I love
We
you guys
love
so much.
this.
Send in everybody subscribe. Write us your harvest questions because we can also get to them offline. And,
Seriously, and
DM
tell us your favorite
I think that's what
vintage.
kids say.
Tell us your favorite
Sports
team,
year.
sports season. We'd love to hear from y'all. Really appreciate everyone joining Crosby's crew. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love it. Cheers to the triangle.
Who you share it with?
Well, that's it for this pour. Thanks for spending time with Crosby's crew. If you tried one or all of the wines from today's episode, we want to hear about it. Head to our socials and let us know which one was your favorite and why.
Curious about what we're tasting next? Check the lineup and send us your questions. We'll be answering them in the upcoming episodes. Nothing's too nerdy or too simple. If you're wondering, someone else is probably wondering too.
And hey, before you go, just a reminder that drinking and driving is never okay. Please enjoy wine responsibly. Always have a designated driver lined up before the bottles open and consume in moderation.
Until next time, cheers from the crew.